Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renagade Radio and all podcast catchers, YouTube, Spotify, um, Apple, wherever you're listening to us. It's the Dark Mark Show. I am Dark Mark, the goth comedian. And as always, everybody's favorite horror writer, Nicole Six.
Good evening.
Good evening, Nicole. And we had such a great time at your birthday bash last week. I forgot last week to mention that it was your birthday this month.
That's okay. I mean, I don't really care if people know.
Right. Well,
Happy birthday.
There you go. You cared last week because you had quite an assortment of people on the beach.
Yes.
Wishing you well. And we all got cajoled into doing a speech for you. How did you like that?
I thought it was wonderful. That's Marjan's touch, though. She's like that. So. Right.
Well, I'll tell you who's got a touch, and I've seen him play guitar, so I can attest to this. Is the guy we have on today? He's making a name. He's bringing the hard rock all over hurricane country in Tampa, Florida, and nationwide. Just played Sturgis, and looking at him, he looks like he fit right in. And he's a great hard rock singer and guitarist, and we're gonna get to know him very well. It's Philip Cole.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you.
Hey, Philip. See this background, Nicole. This is what I want my apartment to look like, with a bunch of guitars and American flags on the wall, sitting on a car seat. I mean, that's great.
That's pretty cool.
That's like the ultimate bachelor pad right there. That is great.
My man cave, baby.
Yeah. Now, are you married, Philip?
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah. This
okay.
Is
so
solid,
there you go. So that's it,
dude. This is my place of worship.
I was gonna say either you have a bachelor pad or you have one room in the house like that. That's one or the other. I didn't know what was going on.
This is it, man. This is what I'm down to now.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is my studio. This is where I do all the magic.
I've heard some of the magic, and before I get to that, I see you're full of energy, and I got to match your energy. So I'm going to drink some of this Ray's energy drink. This is the best. I've tried them all, and this is the best. This is Baja Lime flavor, which tastes like Baja Blast from Taco Bell. And the best part about Ray's, 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash. And you can get this at GNC's, you can get them at vitamin shops, but why pay full price? Go to the description go to the show description, and you'll get a code and a link for 15% off a case. You can get this flavor. You can get ginger ale. You can get the Galaxy Burst that tastes like Fruity Pebbles, sour gummy worms, whatever your flavor is. I like this one. Delicious. And I see Troubles joined us. He must be smelling the Ray's energy drink from here. That's Trouble the cat is on Nicole's lap. So there's Trouble. So there he is. He's a naughty boy as always. So Philip, you're born in Ohio, is that correct? Did I read that?
Yeah. I was born in a little place called Newark, Ohio. Not to get confused with the other one in New Jersey.
Right.
How did you end up in Florida?
That's a family thing, actually. When my dad passed when I was like 18 months old, so my mom moved down to Florida to be with her parents, which they retired to Florida. Who doesn't do that, right?
It's mandatory. Once you turn 65, you have to move to Florida. It's the law.
Exactly. So
Mark needs to move to Florida so he can get with all those G-milfs.
Yeah, those are gilfs. Grandmothers I'd like to fuck. That's my target audience.
Inside joke. Does really well with women over 60.
Nicole has seen it. I can walk into a crowd, and every woman under 60 is ignoring me, and beautiful women over 60 are hitting on me. It's very strange.
Well, I guess you just have that aura about you, bro.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, man out of time, as Elvis Costello once said. So
that's it.
But
soul,
right. So you have no, because I was curious about Newark, Ohio, and because I've been to Newark, New Jersey, and I've been to Ohio, I can just only imagine combining the two.
But no, Newark, Ohio is a far cry from Newark, New Jersey. But yeah, it's a little town, little place. It's not so little anymore, but it was little back then. For outside of Columbus,
Oh, okay.
Probably like I want to say maybe 30 or so miles northeast Columbus, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah. So you go to Columbus all the time. That's where everybody went. Nobody cared about the town. Go to
Right.
Columbus party.
Right.
But no, I moved down here when I was that young. So I'm actually more of a Floridian. I've been here since I was 2. So I really don't know anything but palm trees and
You're a
and,
total
and beaches.
Floridian.
Yeah,
You're a total
yeah. I mean,
Floridian.
I grew up here right on St. Petersburg, St. Pete Beach, Tampa. This whole area is my stomping ground. So I mean,
Right.
What's your favorite
I
part
did.
of Florida?
My favorite part of Florida. I don't know that there is I don't think I have a favorite part per se. I mean, if it depends on what I'm looking for. There's some beautiful beaches, where you don't have buildings on them, so you have like the actual sand dunes and old, really classic style diving like Sarasota, Bradenton area. Up here, it's a little more commercial, but I just like being next to the ocean. To be honest, I mean, I like being next to the coast, so that's really the biggest thing. I mean, I think if the opportunity arose and everything lined up, as much as I may not agree with what goes on in the state, San Diego would be my next choice if I didn't live here. So
Okay. Well,
We like San Diego. Mark and I are definitely fans of San Diego.
You're great,
yeah.
Phil, because I'm doing a show in San Diego on Friday, August 31st. This airs after that. So, and I grew up in San Diego. Went to San Diego State for 6 years. That's a long story, but
I just
worked for a
travel there
company.
a lot for conventions.
Yeah,
There's also one called. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying I worked for a company that actually would go out of the port of San Diego. So I mean, I used to go to Gaslight. We go out there to do some service on the boat. So I'd go out there and we go to Gaslight. That little area right there. That was so cool. Hang out. I've been did some more other work earlier with another company that took me to like Bakersfield area and stuff like that, and Pacific Beach area and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I do like San Diego. That's Pacific Beach and the Gaslight area. That was really cool to hang out with. Would have been cool to be there longer, but I have to say the weather there is pretty standard. I've been there several times throughout different points of the year, and it's all pretty much the same.
It's a warm place, very inviting.
Yes. But so when did you start playing guitar?
Oh, well, I'd probably say, when I was a teenager, the 80s. So that's where, you kind of, it was one of the things you had to do if you weren't playing football or racing cars. So, so I learned how to, play guitar. And my family's kind of musical. So my father and my mom are both,
Really?
kind of musical. So, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of it rubbed off. My mom does a lot of bluegrass. Her and her family are more country bluegrass stuff. And
Sure.
when I heard the Eagles and Led Zeppelin, that kind of turned the tide for me, and I went the other direction. Not that I have anything against country, but my heart's in rock and roll. I can't lie.
I have something against country, but we've had enough country artists on, and I've talked so much shit about country. I'm not going to get into it. But
no, there are good country artists. That's just not my.
Oh, I'll take your word for it.
I like country. I don't dislike it. I don't put it on it's not my average go-to, but every once in a while I'll put it on.
Right.
There's some good artists.
Right.
I'd date myself if I named it. So.
No. I was going to say, I was looking at it because it's pretty obvious the influences in your music, and that's created quite a niche for you. But when you go on your YouTube page, you see the liked videos. It's like because I was going to describe your music as really like 80s hard rock, really like the good 80s hard rock, like it's got that AC/DC, ZZ Top, just the stuff that you would hear on the radio in the 80s.
Yeah, the drive, the feel,
yeah, and when you look at the influences, when you look at the liked videos on your YouTube page, it bears it out. You got Whitesnake and Warrant and Triumph and all of those bands, and your solos have a Van Halen-y sort of feel. So it's that kind of 80s riff rock, which is fun. It's fun to play. It's fun to listen to.
I appreciate that so much. And the great Eddie, he was quite the influence, through my childhood journey of music because of just what Van Halen was and everything.
Right.
Sammy Hagar was another one. I liked him before he was with them, and when that two joined up, most people will argue with me, but I honestly think that was probably the best commercial thing they could have done for them.
Do you do any covers of your favorite songs?
Covers?
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I do quite a few covers of different things. A few of them are, like a little more different than my mainstream stuff because my rock stuff is a little harder. But down here where I'm at, of course, I play a lot of acoustic shows, so I can't get too hard with those. But I do some Eagle stuff, some John Mayer stuff, some things like that,
Sure.
And some of my light shows just keep it light,
What's your go-to John Mayer song? I was shocked to hear that on your list. I like John Mayer; he's good.
Off the top of my head, I really can't think of the one that I do. I think it was put me on the spot here. I can't really think of the one it was, but it was a very popular. I just can't think of what it was.
Your body is a wonderland. Do you do that?
I don't think of the covers that I play. It's just this is just other things because it's music that I play just to fill in with other things. It's not like. But I could say, one of my favorite covers to do because I just love the vocals in it, and I love the way it was when it originally was done. Was George Michael. He did a song, and you can find it on my Facebook page somewhere. I sat here and just whipped it out on my acoustic, called "Waiting," and it was off his "Listen Without Prejudice" album, which I have to say the title is exactly it. Just listen to it without prejudice. Don't think about him. Don't think about any of the BS. Just listen to the music, and it's moving. It's good stuff. But that song really kind of spoke to me as one of the ones that I like to play. And Edwin McCain is another artist. I do like "I'll Be." That's one of the songs that I do. I actually did that one for my wife at our wedding. And I could not ask for more. That was another one that we did. But yeah, that's another story.
That's I didn't see George Michael coming, but yeah, I mean George Michael's great, so I can see that. I can, if you I could see. I was just trying to. I was looking at. I guess I only saw your rock stuff, so I'm like I couldn't see you doing George Michael, but it's I'm familiar with the song. It's a good song. Nicole interrupted before I was going to tell you I like David Lee Roth better, but than Sammy. But that's the way that everybody's had that argument for years.
It's all good. That, like I said, and I like David Lee Roth too. He had a certain style. Sammy has a certain style, but I thought that Sammy's style was well molded to that band a little bit better. Made him a little bit more commercial, which
but then and the first album they did with Sammy was good, but towards the end when they're doing songs like "Wham Bam Amsterdam" and that's the lyric, you're like, dude, come on! Like the lyrics were so bad. Bad towards the end. It was really embarrassing. And Sammy's solo stuff was never that bad, but oh my God.
No, 5150 was that's my 1985 or 86 album. I mean, that was the epitome of whatever. I forget what year that came out, but that was the summer. That was just the awesomest summer ever for me.
Right.
That came out. I was like blasting that like 24/7. That was just. I thought it was one of their. Next to 1984, that was one of their best albums.
Right. I will agree to disagree. It will never be settled. And every now and then you'll have some contrarian asshole that say Gary Sharon's better than both of them. But that's how it goes. But
I think George Satriani is better than most of them. So, but
he's great. So, no, I was gonna say now, based on our references and none of us are, but you're no spring chicken. So, were you in a band when you were in high school or getting out of high school in your 20s?
Yeah. I've been in bands throughout, I did different things in high school, college shows, was in a few bands when I was in the Navy. We got together, did some shows, did some fairs, did some stuff after that. I was actually pretty busy up until probably, I want to say about 2016.
Right.
Then some personal stuff happened and I kind of fell off. and then kind of picked myself up most recently and got back into stuff. So
that was the vibe I was getting. I didn't know you were in the Navy. I guess your patch gives it away. But it could have been a Village People thing. I didn't know.
No. Yeah, it was a Desert Storm. And,
oh wow!
Desert Storm. It's a parachute rigger. So
a parachute rigger. Wow.
What was the hardest part about serving?
Overcoming the idea that you can't do it.
Okay.
It's the self-confidence thing, realizing that when you were done with it, it's like you look back and say, wow. I mean, boot camp and all that stuff, it's an experience that, you really, when you're going through it, you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then you power through it and you're at the other side and it's done and you're back and you're like, man, there ain't nothing I can't do now.
Right.
That's awesome.
I mean, you just kind of feel that way. It's such it's a confidence booster, man. Yeah, it's like nothing else. I mean, to go through what they have to, go through to get trained and and to do the things that you want to do. I mean, my job was parachute rigger, so downside to my job, do it wrong, you go to jail for manslaughter.
Right. Well, that's a pressure situation. So basically, you were the one that made you were the one that actually. How do you do that? I mean, what entails being a parachute rigger? I'm very fascinated by this.
Oh, geez. Well, there was quite the schooling. I mean, in the Navy, they don't jump to just jump. I mean, most of the things, except for the SEALs, most of the stuff they're doing is emergency egress. So it's I don't want to bore anybody, but
you're not boring anybody.
It's the pilot is like, oh shit, I gotta go, and pulls it, and ejects out of the thing, or they're jumping out. That's when they're using the equipment that I touch, and we deal with life preservers, life rafts, oxygen equipment for the jet fighters, seat pad equipment. That's the stuff that they're actually attached to the jet seat that you see. That has like their, all their survival equipment in it. The parachutes themselves, inspecting them, repairing them, replacing them.
Right. So how do you know what's a defective parachute and what's not?
Well, most of it's done by, manual. So, I mean, it tells you, if you see this, inks it. So you just, inks it, even though it's probably good, you just inks it. You don't question it. I mean,
sure.
If it, you just get rid of it. You don't even bother trying to fix it. You just replace it and move on.
Yeah.
That sounds safest.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's it. I mean, it's all about safety. I mean, this is the only time they're going to think about me or want to even, pray to God I had a good day is when they're, jumping out of the craft because it's going down. So the only thing they have is either me or land with the aircraft smashing to the ground,
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
did you ever jump?
Huh?
Did you ever jump?
Me? No, actually, that was one of the requirements for my A school, but when Clinton came in due to budget cuts, they took that away from all of us. So I was one of the first classes not to jump. I felt it was probably a good thing in comparison to some of the people I was in my class with. But
really, do tell.
Well, I mean, I it's just, it's a very. I'm going to. I kind of have OCD, so for details, it's not an issue for me.
Okay.
And I know for other people, details are. The only inspection I ever failed in the Navy was the very first one I had in boot camp. I'm not lying to you. I didn't know what to expect. As soon as I knew what to expect, I never failed another. It's just the attention to detail, and it comes easy to some people, and it comes harder to others. That's the only thing I can say about it. It's not anything about anything, but
right.
If,
well, I can only imagine people doing that now because everybody's got ADD. They're all on their phones. I can only imagine. I mean, you're somebody that's focused, and I don't know anybody who focuses anymore, including myself. I'm looking at my phone right now, but
yeah, no, I get you.
So that's crazy. So you're right in the trenches. But I mean, that wasn't I mean, it wasn't a long war.
No, I was around for 92 to 97, but I was actually at a test and evaluation base, which was kind of cool because I was actually in Maryland, and I was at the base where the Osprey was actually being tested before it was even out. So, and they had, that was where they did a lot of the schooling for the East Coast on some of the pilots and stuff like that. Like more west, but over here. So it was actually a really cool duty station to be at.
That's cool.
For the time I was there.
And you were able to moonlight and do some rocking on the bass and.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, we rocked the E Club. Then we took a band called Lustful after I had out there. We rocked the E Club, and then we rocked the state fair the county fair that was down there, and a few other places around. But we all have a limited time in our duty stations, and everybody rotates out. So at some point, it all kind of everybody rotated out. But it was a good time while it lasted. We had a lot of fun. Started writing a lot of stuff back then with those guys, and some of it's progressed to where it is now. It all evolves. But there were some things that I wish I could remember that we did. It was pretty creative because we just get together and have fun, and it was a lot of good times. Had a lot of good times with those guys.
Sure.
And going forward, I mean, my last band with the Philip Cole band, last group of guys, they helped me write some of the stuff that that's on Spotify and stuff like that.
So there's no more Philip Cole band?
Stop playing live, huh?
There's no more Philip Cole band, or you got a new band, or what's going on with that?
Well, like I said, at one point there was a time where I kind of fell off, and I put a lot of it to the side, and the band.
Now, was that when grunge hit? Is that what happened?
No.
Like Nirvana wiped everybody out, including yourself?
Yeah, no. I lived through the grunge phase. There were some good bands that come out. I gotta say, if I gotta talk '90s, I mean, I'm thankful for Blink 182.
I love Blink 182. They're one of my favorite bands.
And some 41, and
good band.
Charlotte, and those guys.
These are good bands.
they kept punk alive, man. It wasn't. I mean, yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
All right.
But,
well, you know what I'm talking about. All those bands that I mentioned that you liked, Triumph and Whitesnake and Warrant. After Nirvana hit, they were gone through no fault of their own. But it's just nobody. People moved on to something else.
Yeah, it was a different sound. I mean, then you look at the newer rock that's coming out now. I mean, you got like Disturbed, and you got Angels. I know Angel Volt 7, I think it is. I don't want to say their name wrong.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, Avenged Sevenfold.
They're all coming back around.
Avenged Sevenfold. Great bands. They got great sounds.
I agree.
I try to do what I can. But it's just I maybe I'm just not that angry. I don't know. I just can't get to some of those places that but I dig the sound, man, and I'd love to
Did you used to when you were a teenager, when you were in your early 20s, when you were in combat, where you were getting that aggro?
I've always been I like fun rock, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like good time music. I mean, Kiss was like one of the bands I remember in the '70s, man. That was, as a kid, fighting back, against being a Southern Baptist. They were my tools. But
I hear this a lot. If you have a really strict religious upbringing, you're going to be a rebel, and you're going to be drawn to all that rebellious music.
I can say that there's probably a little something to it, I mean,
and rebellious activity.
The Southern Baptists, God bless their hearts, they're good people, but it's hellfire and brimstone sometimes, and
for sure.
I just feel that if you're going to get into theology and talk about that, it's like, I do believe in good and evil, yin and yang, if you want to say that, I mean, but I'm more of like an Indian philosophy where it's the wolf you feed, you know what I mean? If you feed the evil side, then evil, bad things. You feed the good side, good things, positivity. So
we were talking about that with our last guest, about aligning with the light.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to stay optimistic. I mean, yeah, if I was to tell you all the crap, I mean, everybody has crap, but sometimes people are like, man, that sounds like, and you could feel another way about it, but then,
Mm-hmm.
I just,
No, we're
in my
we're
songs,
aligning with the good. We're with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, my songs are mostly about love and, missing somebody or,
Right.
missing that part or,
Well,
something like that, or in that genre of,
right.
thinking of other things, or Some Days is a really great song I like because that one's just focused on, exactly what it sounds. Some days, this is like it's like this. Some days
Mm-hmm.
it's like that. Some days you're here, some days you're there. And that's where it kind of plays in. It's like that's one of my favorite songs because it really
Well,
does.
speaking of that, since you are married and we're two single people and we're very envious, how did you meet your wife and when did
I was
you meet
going to
your
ask too. Yeah, I'm curious.
wife? Yeah, we want to know.
Okay. Well, I actually met my wife at Newark Airport.
Ohio or New Jersey?
Newark, New Jersey. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Newark, New Jersey, actually.
Love at Newark, New Jersey. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicole, have you ever been to the Newark Airport?
I have just once.
Then you realize the irony.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was at Newark Airport. We were both on a flight back to Tampa. I was actually doing some contract work up there for Johnson & Johnson, and on our way back, I saw her at the gate, and I was there waiting on my friends who were checking luggage, so I was just kind of hanging out. Apparently, I mouthed, "She's cute," in my inner voice, but my lips moved. She saw that, and then apparently, when I got on the plane, we were in the same aisle.
Wow.
So we were in the same aisle. I was on the right side, she was on the left side of the plane. Before I even knew that, I had the window seat. I had swapped places with one of my buddies. We had all three seats, so I swapped places with him. He had the aisle seat, so I could stretch out. He had short legs, so I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then, next thing I know, she's right there next to me. So we start talking on the flight. One thing leads to another. Give her my phone number. Hey, call me. You're coming down to Florida. I'll show you places. Tourists don't get to see because at that time it wasn't as populated down here as it is now. But and there were places that we just never told the tourists about. Eventually, everybody found all the stuff. But,
right.
So that's how we kind of met. And then it was like 2 weeks later, she called me up after she was back home, and we started talking on the phone, and then some stuff happened with me, and I got freed up to with work to be able to try my chances somewhere else. So I was figuring, what, I'll move to New Jersey and see what New York and New Jersey was like. So it was nothing like New York. If you want to go to, I couldn't think I could make it all the way out to LA, but New York's the next best thing. So I went to, let's go to New York, New Jersey. So that's where I ended up. Started writing and doing stuff like that up there and working up there, and we got together, and 20 something years later, here I am.
Wow.
That's awesome. Do you have any kids?
No, we have dogs.
I like that. I like that. I'm an animal lover.
Yes. Yeah. She likes animals more than kids. That makes two of us. But I'll tell you what. I got to start doing that. I got to start mouthing my thoughts. Maybe that will work. I'll tell you what else will work.
She was cute too, so it wasn't like I was just being ironic or anything.
Yeah. That would be my luck. I'll be like, yeah, she's real cute, and it's like somebody that I'm not attracted to, and she starts all over me. And if she's over 60, forget it.
And what's funny is afterwards, several years after we were married, come to find out that she actually followed me around Newark Airport, me and my friends, because we went to the bar and had some drinks, and
wow,
wasting time for the flight, So that was news to me.
She was stalking you.
Stalker.
She was stalking you.
And you're the stalker.
Yeah. That's super cute. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. That's a great story.
I say it's like a meet cute story. I wrote the song The Only One based on a lot of that stuff, a lot of the lyrics in there came from, some of the things that happened.
Right.
About that.
So where did you take her in Florida? If we were tourists in Florida, where should we go?
Well, that all depends on what you want to do. I mean, you can always do the touristy stuff. But
I'm
there's a
guessing
lot
they. I'm guessing they didn't leave the house very often, but just a hunch.
Well, when we would come down here, I mean, I have family down here, so we would come down here. We'd spend time with family. But yeah, Disney's one of her favorite places, so we go to Disney a lot.
Well, how out of the way and not touristy?
I'm sorry.
That how out of the way and not touristy? Only the locals know about Disney.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but I will say, at that point in time, we were living up north, so we were tourists.
Right.
So it made sense.
Yeah.
But now that we live here, it's kind of weird when we tell people we vacation at Disney because they're like, "You live here. Why would you?"
Right. No, I hear you.
But
what's one out of the way Tampa place that just my viewers would know and my listeners would know that you would recommend?
Well, if you're coming down here and you're looking for a place to go, I mean, Ybor City, is a really great place. But they're doing so much down here now. But downtown St. Pete, the pier they have down in St. Pete, they redid that. There's a lot of festivals and stuff that go on around here, man. You can see a lot of free bands, a lot of classic bands.
You might even see the Philip Cole band if you're lucky.
The Philip Cole band, that's right. But there's a lot of good shows that come through the area, man. There's some, in Tampa we got the amphitheater, so there's a lot of big shows that come through here. But Dunedin is a nice little city in the Tampa Bay area. Really dog friendly. Got a lot of cool restaurants.
That's cool.
A lot of cool places to go. Just to kind of chill. Little sports bars, little bars, little dives. Home style kind of stuff, not really, your Applebee mainstream kind of crap.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I actually have 2 golden retrievers.
Good dogs.
Yeah. My one is 16 and a half.
Oh.
And the other one is 6 and a half, or 7 actually. She just turned 7. So yeah, they're not related. I did have my 16-year-old. I actually had him and his brother since they were puppies. But his brother passed away. But, they're great dogs. I love them.
Right.
He's my buddy. She's my girl.
I'm still getting over the fact that you had that a woman was stalking you. And if you're listening and watching the show, and we have a predominantly male audience, and you want women to stalk you, get Tactical Soap. That's another one of our sponsors. We are sponsored by Tactical Soap. Tactical Soap is soap with pheromones. And they have 3 different types: Maverick, Bond, and Durden. And they have 3 different types of that. They have roll-on colognes. They have lotions. You got to smell good if you want to attract the women. And yes, so get Tactical Soap. There's a link in the description. And if you want to get women to be following you around in the airports, get Tactical Soap. So
it didn't hurt that I had a multicolored rayon t-shirt, a rayon shirt on. So.
Well,
again, I was from Florida, so what do you want?
That's a very Florida thing. Well, I mean, right now, I mean, you got it's not very Florida, but it's very because I saw that you just played Sturgis. Very exciting.
Yeah, I did.
Sturgis, the motorcycle rally. If people don't know.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was pretty cool. From everything that I saw, I was actually remote from that one. So, but yeah.
Okay, so you were playing in Florida, and they just broadcast you then?
Yeah, they were broadcasting me out there, and I was helping them do some stuff with that. Yeah, promoting it.
Because I could see you fitting in. I could see that type of music going over very well.
Do you have a motorcycle?
Oh yeah, I do have a motorcycle. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I've ridden the motorcycle since 1987. No, I prefer shaft-driven bikes, so I have a Honda. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it's fine.
I have a Honda Shadow Spirit. I love it though. It's all dressed. It's got the shield and the bags and the floor, the feet rest and everything. It's a sweet ride. I like the cruisers. I mean, I always told myself if Harley Davidson ever made a shaft-driven cruiser, I'd buy it. But I just have a fear of belts breaking, chains breaking. It's just that OCD thing in my head. It's like I don't want to have anything break on me. Shaft-driven is just like a car. So unless I'm jumping off of stuff really, really hard on it, I don't think it's going to break.
You don't have to have a Harley. It's fine. I mean, I just assumed. But
no.
So Harleys are prone to break down. I mean,
No.
I mean, you assemble parachutes, so you would know what you're talking about.
Well, no. I don't know that they are. They aren't. I think they're very beautiful bikes. But I'm practical, and I can't be spending that when I can get a Honda for $8,000. I got 44,000 miles on my bike.
Sure.
I bought it from. Yeah, it's silver. It's beautiful. It's all chromed out. It's gorgeous. I bought it from my accountant for $2,500. He had 4,000 miles on it. I put 44,000 miles. But I have the manual for it, so if stuff breaks on it, I fix it.
Right.
If it's stuff I don't have tools for, I take it to the mechanic. But
yeah, but
I think I'd do the same if I had a Harley too. It's just it's an expensive bike.
Yeah, but there's nothing like riding a bike on the beach in Florida.
Oh yeah. We used to cruise all the time. We go down through St. Pete Beach back when it wasn't really crowded, and you go down there sunset. Ride down to the beach. Get down to the one section where you could actually kind of pull off onto the beach area a little bit, just sit there, watch the sunset, walk across the street to the bar, grab a beer, watch the sunset, a little bit more, cruise up the road to the next place, get some wings, cruise on home. Yeah, those are good times.
That's Florida living. We should all retire like that.
I mean, that was just last night.
I'm sure it was. I know, dude. You're a rock star. I understand. I get it. And speaking of that, I was looking. I mean, I don't know how many iterations of the Philip Cole band, but is it weird, like having your name on the band? Like, do the other band members get a little jealous and weird about it?
No, because it was so hard to come up with a band name, and at one point, we had a band name, and it was I can't remember what it was now, but we did come up with a band name. But then again, with bands, as they usually do when they're starting out, people come, people go, things happen. But it was still the same. It was still my music. It was still stuff I was writing.
Right.
As Philip Cole. So instead of just, because I was on my own, I did solo for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
When the last band kind of just, we all kind of fell apart. Things happened. People had stuff to do. Life got in the way. Right. I just went, just go on it. Just go back to the solo thing. And Philip Cole Band just kind of came out because, I want to keep the rock sound, and I'd like to, my next goal is to, like, next year or within next summer be out there with Renagade Radio on all these shows that they're doing, and be out there with a full band and do it. I can't get the feeling across with myself. Acoustically, I could do a pretty good job acoustic show, but it doesn't get quite the feeling across when you have everybody there, and all the energy you're feeding off of.
Right,
is really great, and that's what I love. I mean, that's what I love about live show. That's what everybody loves about live show. It's just feeding off everybody. I mean, if you see the videos of me at the Hideaway on my site, me and those guys. I mean, the drummer, the bass player, myself, very animated. The one guitarist, I was actually one of the first things he's ever done. That was like one of the first few times he's ever played out, so he's a little stiff, you can kind of tell. But but that was the fun of it. You got guys who've never done it before. All right, man, we're gonna bring you in. We're gonna show you some shit. And then you get out there and you do it and you have some fun. We did a couple of contests, and it was great. It's just the feeling that you get playing. We did a charity show for a friend of ours, and playing as a band is a great thing.
Right.
It's just hard to keep it all together sometimes.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the thing. I do stand-up comedy, and it's hard enough fighting with myself. I could just only imagine with 3 other guys. And then the whole thing is, it's the Philip Cole band. If you and the band member have beef, who's gonna stay? It's gonna be Philip Cole, obviously. Who's gonna win every time?
Well, right. But it's not really about that, though, man. With in the situations that I've been in, when it came to bands, I mean, we all put in our part. I mean, we all come together with an idea. I mean, there's some stuff that last band that we did was that was what it was called Fail to Scream. That's what we call it. So Fail to Scream.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of photos that I'm using on this one was from most of that photo shoot that we were doing for that one. But we had an idea, came together. One of my friends had a song. He had some lyrics. I had a melody. And that's kind of the way bands work. We put it all together.
Right.
And I won't really play anything that I wrote with other people. It's not something that I'd rather do. I just play the stuff that I know I wrote myself, or people have given me the permission to say, hey man, here, take it, do what you got to do with it, stuff like that. But yeah, because I think it's kind of sacred. When everybody comes together, we're doing something like that. It's that moment right there that music is happening.
Right.
You can't take away from that, and you can't ever recreate it. That's the thing about bands like Molly Crew, and Van Halen and those guys. I mean, they captured that magic and they were able to reproduce it, and keep it going and get the whole crowd and everybody into it. That's what made them great.
Right. And once again, when you name your band Van Halen and you have trouble with David Lee Roth, you could still call yourself Van Halen and get some other guy. I saw there was a festival in Las Vegas when I lived there a few years ago. It was like Styx, Foreigner, Billy Squier, and like every band had a different lead singer than the original lead singer, except for Billy Squier. And the only reason is because, well, it's Billy Squier. They can't have somebody else.
Right.
So
who else is going to sing?
Yeah, it's
right.
But if he actually went out as a band, then he wouldn't be singing. They'll have some new guy.
That's possible. And I'm not thrilled with the way my voice when I sing anyway. So I wouldn't be upset if somebody wanted to come in and sing for me.
Oh, really? This is new. I didn't know this. Now you're not thrilled with your own voice?
Well, I mean, I'm just not. I know I'm not like. I'm no Bruce Dickinson. You know what I mean? And after you hear him, you're just kind of like, okay.
But your music isn't Iron Maiden either, though. I mean, you're singing fits in that type of hard rock thing where it's there's a lot of singers that sang that. They're not great. They're not Bruce Dickinson. They're not Ronnie James Dio. But it's just straight ahead. It's You listen to Billy Gibbons sing. Is he the best singer in the world? No, but does it fit the music? Yes.
Well, that's true, and it does fit the music, and that's where
David Lee Roth has no range, but he fits that music.
That's true. He's actually an inspiration that makes me say, "What the hell? If he can do it, I can do it."
Right. Especially how insane he is these days.
Yeah, but I love playing guitar. I love playing bass, and those are really where if I was to go out, with a band or something like that, that's really where I don't mind being a songwriter, part of that creative thing, but I'm okay with being the guitar.
You wouldn't mind being a sideman?
No, I just love playing, man. I just want to play music, man. That's really all it was. That's all. That's why I have the Philip Cole band, because I just want to keep playing music, and this way I can write it, and I could do it, and I could have it the way I want it. Another really big influence for me is Prince. Because he could play so many instruments. He was a real inspiration to somebody who could play the instruments, write the music, produce it, put it together, orchestrate it, do the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to, have that kind of, thought processes of like putting it all together and doing all that creative, that is really, really cool. It's like when I sit down and start recording, it starts out with, maybe a drum beat and some chords on the thing. And, then I'm mixing up the drum beat to see it, coming up with a chorus with the same beat for a little bit, and then I'll mix up the drum beat, see how this sounds, and then I'll write this, and all right, let me see if I got some lyrics and I'll put some of that. It's kind of like a stew.
Yeah.
You start with the water, the bully base, and you kind of add some stuff in here. Next thing you know, you got a hearty soup.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's. I mean, it's all. Then to be playing live in front of people, hearing them applaud, hearing them, scream and yell and having fun and dancing and knowing that you're moving them and, you're part of that memory, that moment, it's pretty intense.
So how is the Tampa scene? I know that Tampa's got a big goth scene, but how is it as far as your type of music? Does it have a big rock scene?
There's a pretty good rock scene around. Yeah, there's a pretty good rock scene. I mean, it does depend on what you're looking for. I mean, we've got heavy metal, we got rock, we got rap. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff around here in the Tampa Bay area.
Right.
That's why I say, places like Ybor City, and there's over in Orlando, there's the Church Street area, where all these really great clubs are at that you could hear all kinds of different music. And
do you get to play live often?
Actually, I'm looking to play more. I haven't played since again probably 5 years. I haven't played out yet.
Except for the Sturgis set.
Yeah, like I said, just most recently this year, kind of got really back into it. My daughter passed away.
Oh no!
2016. That kind of took a lot out of me. Kind of focused my attention and kind of brought me away from music. So it wasn't until recently that I got back into it. That's why there's been such a lull where I haven't played and done a lot of stuff. This year, starting in January, I got motivated again and got the bug back in me, bit me, and started writing again, started recording, put out a bunch of songs this year. I just actually finishing it up, self-titled album or titled album called Some Days, which is a compilation of all the music that I have that I put out so far this year. So it's the album for that called Some Days. It's got a really good new song called A Brighter Day, and another song called Lonely Heart.
Right.
These two songs haven't been on Spotify yet. They're both on my Philip Cole band.com site. But they're going to be released on Spotify this weekend as well.
Oh, good.
And and then I just finished and released the album out for this weekend as well. So that's out. So now you can get all the songs in one location instead of getting them all individually for some of those.
Well, that's good. Our condolences. But that's understandable why you would take some time away. But you needed it. But I'm glad that you found your muse again. Yeah, I did. I found everything. Came back to me, and now it's like a floodgate opened up. I got all kinds of stuff. Like I said, this one new song, A Brighter Day, it's more of an anthem, sign of the time kind of song. It's really cool. Got some good lyrics poignant to what's going on. Maybe not not necessarily political songs, but just socially, economically, politically, whatever you want to call it. But a sign of the time, song of the times kind of thing. Well, you got to do that these days. I mean, look at all the country songs that have become big hits. Now you got to hop on that. You got to hop on that bandwagon. And I've got just got an idea. Throw this around a little bit. Biden sucks. Try that one. See how that works. I think that might get some traction. Not here in California, but I think it would get traction nationwide.
Yeah,
just a little, maybe country it up a little bit. Maybe you might have something there. Or
you never know. You never know. But mine's a little more.
Or Weirdos Stay Out of Florida. Try that one. Weirdos Stay Out of Florida. I think you might be onto something there.
Taking care of a lot of that for us, so I don't really have to speak anymore.
Okay. Just that's why I'm not a songwriter, but I just thought with the bandwagon, I thought maybe because they just had a guy had a country song and became number one. He's not signed to a label. He's right where you're at.
Yeah.
So it can happen. That's the way the business is going these days. Lil Nas X, all this stuff.
You get the song in front, with the right, people, can connect to it, and it strikes a note with them. Oh yeah, they can go viral as it were.
And trust me, I hate it. I hate that everybody's talking politics and is picking songs because they're like, I hate these California liberals, and I'm going to listen to this song and buy it. I hate it, but you got to go with what's going on. I mean, people didn't like grunge either, but you got to do it.
Yeah, hey, I've done some hip hop kind of R&B stuff, so
Really? Because
yeah,
I mean,
I got
on
a
your
song called
website you
"Still
list all these
Here."
bands that came from Florida. You got Dashboard Confidential. You got Matchbox 20, Marilyn Manson. Like you forgot Two
Yeah,
Live Crew.
Matchbox 20 is a great one. I
You
like them.
forgot Two
I do
Live Crew.
3 a.m. by them. Huh? I do 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20. That's another cover song.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hip hop, booty rap that comes out of Florida.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I actually got a friend of mine. We did a couple of songs. You can find them on my site. One song called "Toodaloo." He has a
Toodaloo.
beat. Toodaloo, yeah, it's good too. I laid down this kind of Santana riff over it.
Okay.
It's on my site. You can check it out. But yeah, he sings and does all the rapping in that. And then he helped me with a song called "Still Here." He put his piece to it and did the rap to it, and then I did all the music to it, and I do a little verse in it as well, and stuff. But it was cool too. It's a good time to collab. It's a good collaboration.
Yeah.
And
that's what music's all about, having a good time.
Yeah.
That's it. I like jazz, so I have a couple of songs. I got one song on my site called "Letters to a Friend." It's kind of a smooth jazz song. It's not really. It's an instrumental, but so there's all kinds of, it's all about moods, man. It all depends on where you're at, at that point in time. That's why I don't want to be, locked into one kind of genre. You listen to my stuff, you can hear all kinds of stuff,
Right.
One of my first albums, I got some songs on there that sound country, it's just part of where I came from. So some of it's going to rub off on me.
Right. Right. So
is there anywhere in the country you'd like to play? Like a different state than Florida?
I know you did a lot of big gigs in New York and New Jersey, but would you like to hit the Midwest, the East Coast, Texas? West Coast,
Vegas,
Texas,
Louisiana.
Seattle, Vegas.
Oh yeah. I'd like to do something where I could get up and down the West Coast. Like I said, I'm hoping to, by next year we could, working with Renagade Radio on some stuff that they had in the fires. Hopefully we can do some stuff next year with, like a 6-place tour or something like that.
Sure.
And then go from there and, spread out. That's the goal right now. Like I said, I finished up this album, finished up the writing. Next, put together the live show, and then start booking some places and start touring. So hopefully, you guys can come and see me in the next, 6 months or so.
Right. Now let me ask you, because as I said, you're a great guitar player. I've heard it. You definitely know what you're talking about, and you know how to play. Who, and I've asked this for a few other guests, who is the most overrated guitar player? Who is the most underrated guitar player? I want to hear this, in your opinion.
Rick Emmett is probably the most underrated guitar player.
Rick Emmett from Triumph.
Yeah. I think he's one of the most underrated musicians, I think, in my lifetime. His song style, his playing, his vocal range is incredible. And when you look at guitar players, if I had to say who's my all-time favorite, it's Joe Satriani.
Right.
And if I was to compare everybody from him, the most overrated, unfortunately, would have to be Eddie Van Halen when it came to, some of the techniques and styles that you could hear from, somebody from Joe Satriani, like I just said.
But Van Halen did it first, though.
Yeah, he was an innovator with finger tapping and some of the stuff that he was doing that wasn't out, and that's what made him, that's what made him the god that he is. He was an innovator. Everybody, Right. But when it came to technique, style, the technical side of it.
Right.
I think there's a lot of technical players out there, but I like to play with feeling.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, Eric Clapton's a great guitar player. I wouldn't say he's he's along the style that I like to play. He's
sure.
He feels the music,
Yeah.
The notes. It's coming from him. It's coming from his guitar. That's where I'm at. So no, I'm not super technical. I can't do all this crazy, stuff. But I like to play from my heart, and that's I don't know if there's anybody I can't really say who's overrated or who's underrated. I think everybody's rated where I guess they need to be
Right.
for what they're doing.
I try to get hot takes on this show, so yeah, it was a good answer, and it's interesting because I saw somebody I saw people reacting to your music, and I saw somebody say that they heard like a Cure influence, and I listened to your songs. I didn't hear it. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you like them, but and maybe they're an influence, but I didn't hear it.
Check out The Only One.
Yeah,
You'll hear a Cure influence in that. The guitar part alone is actually
right.
Good band.
I would say Robert
listen to a lot of
Smith's a
Cure.
bit of an underrated guitar player. If you're gonna
Yeah, he could be an underrated. They're a great band, though. I mean,
yeah,
for the type of music that they put out. I mean, I have to, music is mood.
right.
Does that make sense? So, some people could say I have an eclectic collection of music because I will
Sure,
listen to just about almost anything if it fits the mood.
sure,
I mean, I got everything from, Disturbed to Sade in my
sure.
music catalog.
Yeah,
It just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm
to
sitting
George
down with
Michael to John Mayer, it's amazing. But
yeah, exactly.
and you were now your song "Why" was featured in a movie. I saw some video for that. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I actually it was an independent little mini series a buddy of mine did
Was
out
it a
of
YouTube
Boston.
thing or just was it
No, he did it for a film festival.
okay?
He got some recognition and stuff out of it. It was a vampire detective kind of.
No, it looked cool. I want to see it. I mean, the video looked
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I was like, "Wow, this I could watch an episode of this. I could watch this movie."
yeah, yeah. It was pretty interesting. It was called Try,
Okay,
TRYEE. Period after each one of them. It stood for
it's
something.
an
I actually
acronym.
was yeah, I was actually in one of the episodes. I played an attorney. Um, I'm actually in,
Do you
I'm
get to
actually in the
act
video.
often? Are you
Huh?
like a fan of acting?
No, I don't think I can really act. I just think I can stand there and look pretty.
That's what your wife said
Yeah,
in the
uh,
airport.
that's why she followed me around. In the video I have online, there's actually a scene where if you look down the hallway, I'm actually sitting on the right hand side in the big coat, all looking suity and official and stuff like
Right.
that. Playing a district attorney. But it was a good time, and yeah, he approached me for that. So I actually did a lot of the music for that particular episode. Why was the title song?
Hmm.
It was used in the opening. Um, and the music was actually used for some of the scenes when they're walking around and doing stuff because it just had a moving theme. It had a moving music. You had the bass line,
Right.
that was in there. It was a really good song. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. That was a
So
good time.
it's always nice to be
Yeah,
a
check out
vampire
the video
lawyer.
too. I'm sorry.
It's always nice to be a vampire lawyer. That's good. There's so little difference between vampires and lawyers anyway, so it's always nice to combine the two.
Yeah, they're all bloodsuckers. Just one's green, one's red.
You got it. You got it. Now, Philip, this has been a blast. I love talking to you. What do you got going on? Do you have any shows? You got your website? Tell everybody, plug away. What do you have going on?
Well, like I said, just right now, I just released Some Days, the album, which is a combination of all the singles that I've just recently released. So you can pick that up on philipcole.com or philipcoleband.com. You can also check out this weekend or coming up on Spotify, A Brighter Day being released.
Mm-hmm.
You can check that out. Also, early release on philipcoleband.com. And let's see. Right now, I'm working on putting together the shows for coming up this fall next year. So look for me. Look for some stuff going on that. And that's kind of it right now. Not too much going on per se on that side of it. Like I said, I'm just getting myself back into things. So I appreciate the time here, getting me to talk to you guys and getting my stuff out there. But yeah, check out A Brighter Day. I love to hear what people think about it. Also, on philipcoleband.com, there's some exclusive downloads. So if you sign up for my mailing list, and you can get some exclusive downloads of some of the songs. The paying for them, you can get them for free, and I rotate that every often. So keep checking back, because you never know, your favorite song could be available for free.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. And so philipcoleband.com.
That's right.
philipcole.com seems to be available. I just checked it and it said, do you mean chipotle.com? I said, no, philipcole.com. So you might want to look into that. But Philip, it's been a blast. I'm going to check out that. Matter of fact, with your permission, I'd like to play at the end of the episode. Sure. If I could. And so everybody can check it out. And sounds like 2024 is going to be a big year for you. And I hope you'll be live in Sturgis and go up and down the West Coast, thanks to Renagade Radio. So, Philip, keep rocking. Keep rocking.
Thank
and
you so much, guys.
Yeah. And Nicole, what do you got going on? I know it was your birthday, so now you got the birthday hangover, but everybody's still celebrating. So,
yeah, you can get my latest poetry book on lulu.com, lulu.com. Just look up my name and you'll find it. And then I'm on Instagram at Nicole6Books and Facebook as Nicole H6.
And I'm Goth Comedian on all social media. Everybody have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.
See you later, guys.
In a crowd, giving of opinion, shining strong and loud. From east to west, the story they intertwine. In a sea of news, we're searching for a sign. Drawn and rearranged, and the echoes of our past collide, navigating the shifting tides. Hold on to hold. We'll find our way through the heart of the storm into a brighter day. Leaders rise and fall like shadows on a wall. Promises